So last time I streamed this, it was 3 weeks ago, I believe. Kind of forgot the name. Yeah, it's not. I kind of forgot. It's not kind of. I forgot the name of the protagonists, the main heroines on this game. But so we're gonna refresh. Oh yeah, it's Emily. Our name is Hiroki, and my voice is gone. Okay, it's back. There we go. Called out for her, but there was no reply. Chased after her from the cafe, but I had already lost sight of her. The others had joined me in the search, but were unable to find her.
いた
Nope.
こっちもだ。
Shisa and Ryota had searched in a different
り
area.
ょうちゃんが大きい声出すからだよ。あんな風に指さされたらあの子じゃなくてもビビるって。
Exactly.
すまねえ、つい。
Ryota hung his head in shame, but even then he was still taller than the rest of us.
でもなんであの子を店に来たのかしら。
腹が減ってたんじゃないか。
Because I invited her to
わざ
come?
わざまちこばあちゃんの店に来るかな。
逃亡中だから人の多い場所は避けたんだろ
You speak like you know everything. May have invited her earlier. When we split, I told her about the cafe. She probably doesn't know the island well, so maybe she came to check it
うー
out.
んあの子、エミリーって言うんだ。
Yeah, Emily Shirase.
ほんのちょっと会っただけの割にやけに親しそうじゃない。
What do you mean?
なんでもない。私あっち探そっと。
Okay, Miss
う。
Jealous.
じゃあ俺は山の方行ってみる。
Left alone, I headed toward Kutami Port. Near silence dominated the empty port. Without people, only the gentle sound of the waves echoing into the night remained. Where could she have gone? According to Ryota, Emily boarded the ferry right after leaving her school, so that explained her uniform and school bag. But was she really a runaway? There must be another reason for her to come to this island. And I remember what she said on the ferry.
取り戻しに行くの。海に沈んだ大切な宝物を。
Something that sank into the ocean. Was it a real object, or had she been speaking metaphorically? Someone dear to her got drowned, probably. She also said she hated the ocean, but that didn't help. It's getting a bad feeling about the whole situation as searched around the empty port alone. Family was really looking to hide away from everyone. This would be perfect spot, but it was dark and completely deserted. Then again, if she fell in, even light from the town and moon, the ocean was very dark at night, like the mouth of a deep cave that swallows that little light. One careless step, and you could fall in, with no way to climb back out. At this hour, there would be no passing by to help either. I could only imagine the worst scenario during my search. Huh? Looks like there's someone by the lighthouse. Known as the Blue Lighthouse, even though the beacon light used is green. In olden days, Japanese people called the color green blue, hence the lighthouse name. The lighthouse on the opposite shore is called the Red Lighthouse, with its name not based on the light used, but on the lighthouse color itself. Okay, this is the blue, even its color is green, but this is a new information for me. So Japanese people used to call Midori as Ao. It's similar to my mother's native language is Madura. So in Madura language, you say biru when it is Midori. So biru in Indonesia is actually blue, and in Madura it means green. So when you want to say biru, I mean, when you want to say blue in Madura, it is bungo. So yeah, kind of different. I mean, kind of similar to Japanese. There was a little lighthouse over by one end of the promenade, and right at its base, a shadowy figure could be seen. A fisherman. I was too far away to know for sure, but from the poster, it didn't look like it. Looks like Emily. Called out her name and ran toward the lighthouse as fast as I could. I had a really bad feeling about this. The shadow looked as if it was about to jump into the water. Emily! The shadow turned around to face me. Don't do it.
えちょ、なんなの
Focus on running as fast as I could to save her. Startled, Emily took a step back, and as luck would have it, a particularly strong wind came through the port. Emily lost her footing. Emily! Her hands came out, reaching for me as I ran towards her as fast as I could, but I was too late. Yay, let's swim! Emily! Hand clasped together, Emily and I tumbled into the sea. As she sank deeper, I tried to gather her into my arms, but... Stop flailing around, Emily! Emily pressed the pitch black waters as I tried to feign to get things under control. Trying to so desperately to hold on to her that I couldn't make my way to the surface. Which way is up? I could feel both of us sinking. But I had lost any sense of direction beyond that. With just a little light, I'd have been able to follow the air bubbles to the surface, but I couldn't see anything. Are we going to die under here? Emily eventually stopped squirming around, but she hadn't calmed down. She just didn't have the energy to resist anymore. Emily! I squeezed her arms. I squeezed her in my arms, trying to tell her not to give up hope.
ヒロ君
Hmm? I was certain that she couldn't see my face and knew for a fact that I couldn't hear her. I couldn't hear her, but I could have sworn she called my name. This time, when she started moving again, she moved her body close to mine. All we could do now was sink deeper and deeper. But at least we weren't alone, and we could feel a little human warmth right at the end. Sorry I couldn't save you,
う
Emily.
んありがとう手を伸ばしてくれて
Could hear her voice clearly now. Final gift to enjoy at the dead store.
ねえ大丈
And now from somewhere above, I was given Jesus' voice too. Wait, why Jesus' voice?
夫お生きてる生きてる
Huh? At some point, Emily and I had floated to the surface.
パパママごめんね
Emily,
エミリーはわがままな子でした愛してるわ
her eyes were shut tight as she whispered a final farewell to her parents. Hey,
何よ
Emily.
今最後のお祈りをしているところなの邪魔しないで
But you're not dying, we're alive. Both of us. Emily opened her eyes and seemed to understand that she had been saved, but didn't quite understand where she was.
助かったの
Yep.
ここ天国じゃないの
Nope. Pretty sure it's not hell either.
このプニプニしたもの何
Wasn't present to that we were floating on. I'll give you a hint. It's got a dorsal fin.
背びれ
Emily and me, a triangular fin for us out above the waves. Emily and I, you mean? You grab onto me
イルカ
again.
だっつーの。
Sure enough, my old friend. What was the dolphin name again? It's not Finn, it's something else. Chill out, you're gonna knock us off.
だからイルカだってば。っていうか、あんたたちいつまで抱き合ってんの？
Not the one. Look, you've got the wrong idea.
私は海を見てただけ。飛び込むつもりなんてないわ。なんでそんなことしなくちゃいけないのよ。
Yeah, you have a point. Yuta had arrived to help us out of the water. From there, we all headed back to the cafe together. Emily and I were completely soaked, but with the warm tropical wind, we didn't have to worry about catching our death. Aside from a towel, the only thing Emily really wanted was a good meal.
すごい食べっぷりです。本当にお腹が空いてたのね。
The Ogasawara sisters. Oh yeah, it's Ogasawara. Ogasawara Island. Watching amazement as Emily devoured dish after dish of my grandma's cooking.
おかわりをいただいてもいいかしら。
Grandma, you got any more? With a sour look on her face, Grandma reluctantly brought out more soup and bread.
飛び込む気がなかったのは分かったけど、家出してきたのは本当なんでしょ？
家出などという目的のない逃避行じゃないわ。
じゃあ何が目的だってのよ。
Emily set down her spoon and looked at Chisa
トレ
seriously.
ジャーハンティング。
What? She returned to her soup as if those two words explain everything.
何それ？
Exactly.
トレジャーハントというのは宝探しのことだ。グアネ。
I know that
それ
pretty
くらい
much,
知ってる
Inami.
わよ。
小笠原に宝物なんてあるのか？
埋蔵金みたいなやつ？
Everyone had a clueless expression, myself included. But that didn't shake Emily's resolve one bit.
あるわ。海に沈んでる。でも引き上げる方法がわからなくて、それで海を眺めて考えてたの。
Oh, it's not someone you know that died. Okay. By the way, I'm gonna grab some snacks real quick. So, yeah, I'm gonna leave you guys for a little bit. Probably around 1 minute. Doesn't even take a minute, but yeah, I'm back.
どんな宝物なのですか？チナは大変興味があります。それは
それは？
秘密よ。
Okay.
何よそれ！もったいつけず言いなさいよ。
宝をめぐる争いを避けるためにあえて秘密にしているのでは。
Seem as if everyone's concern for Emily well-being had unknowingly moved to the treasure well-being. Was only growing more intense.
海って言っても広いぞ。
それに島にはダイバーも多いから大抵の海は調べ尽くされてるわね。
Well, because the ocean is huge. That's why. Still have hope for it not to be discovered yet. Wait. I'm still preparing my snacks. Yeah, let's go. You know where in Ogasawara this treasure is supposed to be? Emily brows furrowed in concentration.
白波丸っ っていう船よ。小笠原の海のどこかに沈んでるはずなの。
All members present except for Emily locked eyes when she mentioned the ship name.
それはまさか。
幽霊船。
幽霊船？
Emily stared at Ryota
地
blankly.
元でそう呼ばれている沈船よ。
Shipwrecks were essentially the old sunken ships found on the ocean floor. Most of the shipwrecks surrounding the Ogasawara Island were battleship or freighters hit during the war. Hinkomaru, a cargo ship built in 1936, damaged and abandoned after 1944 air raid. Its emergent wreckage has become a popular tourist attraction. It is slowly being worn away by storms and sea currents. Freighter requisitioned by the Navy during World War II was the most well-known shipwreck. It was eventually sunk in an air raid, but now it was one of the most popular tourist attractions on the island.
どこに行けばあるの？ねえ、教えて。
Lisa was taken a little aback by Emily's enthusiasm, but told her all the same.
幽霊船って言ってもお化けが乗ってるわけじゃないわ。嵐の旅に行方をくらませる沈船だから幽霊船って呼ばれてるの。
Shiranami Maru, imaginary cruise ship that sank in the Ogasawara Sea 16 years ago in an area with war and cargo shipwrecks. Strong currents move it around, so locals call it ghost ship.
嵐の旅に行方をくらませる幽霊船。
So it's imaginary,
残
okay?
念ながら何年か前に行方不明になったまま今どこにいるかわからないわ。
よりによって白波丸か。
ずっと作り話だと思ってました。
Still knew nothing about Emily, but I admire her determination to come to this island alone. I didn't think she would find anything. She was trying to hunt down a ghost ship for crying out loud.
私、探すわ。幽霊船を見つけるまで家には帰らない。
Why are you so determined to find it? What's your connection to it?
次の定期船までまだ日があるわ。それまで好きにすればいいんじゃない？
だな。どうせそれまでは迎えにも来られないし。
Ferries to Ogasawara from the mainland only came once a week, but during the tourist season, they'll be only every 3 days. That means we have to wait 3 days before we could send Emily home.
宿は取ってるのか？まだならうちの親父が手配してくれるって。
宿は取ってない。でも、お申し出は遠慮させてもらいます。パパに頼まれて私を監視したいんでしょうけど、そうはいかないわ。
ねえあなた、宿の手配もせずに来たの？
うん。ここって観光地なんでしょ？来れば。
今って観光シーズンなのよ。めぼしいホテルはどこも満室。簡単に見つかるはずないじゃない。
そういうものなの？
Yeah, it's a tropical island. What do you expect?
典型的な
Everyone
旅慣
comes
れた
here.
いない方ですね。
もうしょうがないな。知り合いを当たってあげるから。
I'm sorry, I didn't read that. Emily went suspiciously
さ
quiet.
っきカバンごと所持品全部海に沈んじゃったから1円も持ってない。
As Emily spoke, my eyes flickered over my grandma. That meant she wouldn't be getting paid for this meal.
それって帰りの切符もなくしたってこと？
Emily nodded, things looking bleak. And for the most part, it was my fault. I'll handle her hotel expenses. Can you just find her a place to stay?
そうするしかないわね。
ならうちに泊まるといい。
Why did you care about her, Grandma?
聞こえなかったのかい？うちに泊まるといいって言ったんだよ。
本当ですか、おばあ
Emily sprang and looked into Grandma's hand.
ちょっとマチコばあちゃん、ヒロキもいるんだよ。
来るなと言ったのに勝手に来た孫なんざ知ったこっちゃないね。草むらで
Isn't
寝
that
れ
the
ばい
same
い。
for this girl? Nice to know you care.
ヒロ兄がいると何かまずいことでも？
To Chinami, it seemed a simple enough question, but no one was ready to have that conversation yet, so we ignored her.
人生はアドベンチャー。死んだ亭主の口癖だった。ここいらじゃちった名の知れたサーファーさ。
Grandma closed her eyes, smiling as she remembered the days when Grandpa was still around.
あんた幽霊船を探して宝物を引き上げるって言ったね。
はい。
アドベンチャーしない人生なんてつまらない。なんだってやりゃいいさ。
ありがとうございます、おばあ様。
Nice
今
one,
夜の
Grandma.
食事代もつけとくからね。
Without another word, Grandma disappeared into the back of the cafe. Emily was jumping for joy. Judging from their expression, Ryota and Chisha were as thrilled though. You think it will be okay, Ryota? Wasn't sure how close Ryota's dad and Emily's dad were, but they'd be would they be okay with Emily staying at my grandma's place?
マチコバーが言うなら親父も逆らえないだろう。居場所さえ分かってれば向こうに言い訳もできる。それに面白そうじゃねえか。
いや、まずいでしょ。ヒロキ、まずいよね。
Huh? So I know now why this PN is surprisingly short. Because it's 3 days long. Till Emily's departure from this island. I want to go to Jesus' route first. I believe it's this one. This probably isn't good.
だよね。
Grandma's already made up her mind though. To post her now would mean she'd never want anything to do with me again.
確かに。
And then it was decided that Emily would stay with Grandma until the next ferry arrived. I knew that Grandma would have said if Grandpa would have said if he had been here. Life is adventure, be free and live with no regrets. Coming from a ladies' man who incurred Grandma's wrath on more than one occasion. Emily, I'm the one that you got you into this mess, so if there's anything I can do to help, just let me
あ
know.
りがとう、ヒロくん。
ヒロくん
And on this night above the peaceful Ogasawaran waters, the scent of danger and adventure was not far off. Woke up early and start cleaning the shop. A welcome party the night before had gotten a little too wild and we forgot to clean up afterwards. That should be enough. Stand the face of a shy young blonde girl peeking. Morning, Emily.
おはよう。
As Emily walked out, her eyes darted out nervously, as if she were checking for hidden enemies. You sleep okay? What's up?
昨日はごめんなさい、ありがとう。
Gomenasai, arigato. Closing and thanking at me at the same
すご
time.
く親切にしてくれたのに。私、人見知りなとこあって、ついあんな態度取っちゃって。
It's fine. You're not particularly rude or anything. It's my fault she had fallen into the water. Hopefully this didn't make her hate the ocean even more.
でも、助けに来てくれたわ。
She insisted her voice become nasal in her breathing labored.
昨晩、ベッドに入ってから、あの時のことをよく思い出してみたの。真っ暗な海に沈んでいくのは、すごく怖かった。もう死んじゃうってくらい。でも、あなたが手を握っててくれて、 それで抱きしめてくれたの。
Did I? I was so panicked I barely remember. Of course, I remember trying to save her, but in hindsight, jumping onto the ocean at night like that was a terrible idea.
私も必死だったから本当はあんまり覚えてないの。暗闇の中で息もできなくて、なのに誰かのぬくもりを感じてすごく安心できたの。改めて思い出すととても嬉しかったからその
As I watched her, I couldn't help but laugh.
何かおかしなこと言った？
Nothing, it's nothing at all. She put on a strong front, but deep down she was kind of sincere. She is kind of like your stereotypical. What is it? I don't know the term. Yeah, anime girl. This, that was what I thought. I knew better than to say it, so I kept my mouth shut. How about breakfast?
うん。
Okay then, have a seat. Get Emily seated and went to whip up a simple breakfast in the cafe's kitchen. So do you like your eggs scrambled or sunny side up? I like scrambled egg.
柔らかめが好き。
Oh, we're different, Emily. Got it. A quick breakfast include bacon, eggs, toast, and coffee. As this was a cafe, we always had good coffee beans on hand. Though we had a mean grilled fish set too. And I whip up a salad with vegetables left over from the party. Breakfast is served.
美味しそう。手際がいいのね。
Yeah, I'm pretty handy in the kitchen. I bragged just a bit as I sat down in front of my own plate.
いた
Itadakimasu.
だきます。
We both fell silent as we enjoyed our meals. Emily seemed to have her reason for coming to the island. I was really curious about the treasure on this ghost ship she mentioned. I wasn't going to push her if she didn't want to talk about it. More than curious, that would be just downright nosy. As I searched for a topic of conversation, I could see Emily glancing over as if she wanted to ask something. Yes, what is it?
あなたってやっぱりなんでもない。
What is going on? She stuffed some question back down along with some bacon and eggs. She was eating much too fast to actually taste anything. Yeah, well, now I have to know.
なんでそんなにいい人なのかって思っただけよ。何か魂胆があるんじゃないかって疑っちゃう。
Well, you're not wrong.
ん？
I want in on this sunken treasure. Emily looked
分
troubled.
け前をあげられるようなものじゃないわ。
I agreed. No, I want you to let me join your search.
一緒に探してくれるの？
What can I say? I'm a sucker for adventure. Runs in the family. You're headed out after breakfast, right?
どこへ？
Emily stared blankly. You know, how to find a ghost ship. Hey, Chisa.
おはよう。
Yo, sit. Breakfast, I took Emily with me to go meet Chisa.
そっちの人もおはよう。
おはよう。
She has a name, Chisa. Chisa stared at Emily as the latter fidgeted and avoid eye contact. Chisa didn't seem to care much for her. And I was caught in the middle. It was not a pleasant place to be. Thought Chisa would be the best person to help us with a ghost ship hunt.
いいの？計画性皆無な家出娘を野放しにしておけないでしょ。
Yeah, that was what she told me too.
幽霊船探しなんて面白そうなこと、よそ者だけでやらせてなるものですか。
面白そうなんだ。
So, what do you say?
まあどうしてもって言うなら仲間に入れてあげてもいいわ。
どうしてもなんて一言も言ってないんですけど。
まあまあ。とにかく始めましょうか。 Where should we start? Oh,
情
let's
報
go.
を集
始め
めでしょ
ましょうか。
相手は海の底なんだから闇雲には探せないわ。
Lisa started walking. A doubtful enemy. Emily and I followed after her. She settled it as the diving shop on the outskirts of town. We were buying some gears.
なるほど。
Lisa asked the top staff and local guards dropping by about the whereabouts of the ghost ship. Emily watched from a distance as they talked over a map, her expression worried.
大丈夫なの？客でもないのにお店でこんなことして。
It's probably fine, it's just a family shop after all. Emily took another look around the shop. It's filled with diving suits and equipment. Yogasawa Island was famous for diving. This was one of many similar shops on the island.
なるほどなるほど。どうもありがとうございました。
Lisa walked back over to us. How'd it
や
go?
っぱり最後の目撃情報は3年前だね。その後大きな台風が来て行方不明になったみたい。
沈没した船が流されるの？
嵐で流されることはたまにあるけど大体は壊れてしまうわね。海の中で腐食が進んでどんどん脆くなるから船を押し流すほどの海流に襲われたらひとたまりもないってのが。
まさか本当に幽霊船ってわけじゃないわよね。
にやり。
何よその顔。
By the way, I smell gas. Wait a minute, okay, guys. Okay, I'm back. Apparently, it's fine. It's just the gas is running out. I mean, the gas tube. You know. Yeah, by the way, back to the game. Back the way. Why does back the way?
もしかして怖いの？
Why no?
怖くなんてないわ。幽霊なんて信じてないから。
ニヤニヤ。
腹立つその顔。
Well, Lugasawa does have a lot of ghost stories, saying it was site of several attacks during the war.
そうなの？でも全然怖くなんてないけど。
Emily didn't seem to realize it, but she was gripping the hem of my shirt, clearly
安心なさ
shaken.
い。嵐のたびにあちこちいなくなるから幽霊船って呼ばれてるだけよ。驚かせることはあっても悪さなんてしないから。
With that, Chisa grabbed my arm and pulled me away from Emily, forcing her hand to let go of my shirt. So, where was the last sighting? Chisa opened the
こ
map.
の辺りだって。
That's pretty close if we just had a boat.
おやおや、これは愉快な光景が繰り広げられておりますな。
Shinami was spying on us between the wetsuits hanging at the back of the shop. Yes, sir,
お
Shinami.
はよ、ヒロ兄。そして金髪のお姉様。おはよう。
Shinami stared at Emily.
何？いやいや、お構いなく。とてもお綺麗なお姉様だと思いまして、我がグアネもこれは強力なライバルが出現したなと。
Chisa grabbed Shinami by the scruff of her neck.
何をするグアネ？
くだらないこと言ってんじゃないの。それから誰がグアネだ。
話せ。退屈な島暮らしでエンターテインメントに飢えてるんだ。
Chisa led the struggling Shinami to the back of the
青
shop.
い瞳の綺麗なお姉さん、チナはあなたの味方ですから。ありがとう。何なのあの子。
She's definitely different, but just shy like you. So maybe she felt some kind of kinship.
私、別に変な子じゃないわ。人見知りだけど。
Didn't mean any disrespect anyway. She's a good girl. So don't mind her.
わかった。ヒロ君が言うなら。
Chisa came back and stared at Emily and I.
ちょっと失礼。
Chisa bumped Emily out of the way and stood next to me.
行きましょうか。
It's the classic Osana Najimi versus blonde girl. Blonde girl always wins. That's why I want to take Chisa's route first, so that I can treat Emily's route as true ending. Chisa and I took Emily to Omura Beach. Amongst all the visitors to the beach, we were the only ones not in swimsuits standing on the edge of the water.
もしかしてここから泳いでいくの？
Emily had gone steep. I doubt it.
あ、来た来た。あーい。
Chisa started signaling out toward the water. Small boat-like object could be seen coming in from the open sea.
おーっせ
Ryota was paddling toward us. Chisa and I waded out to meet him and pulled the boat to the sand. So this is your boat, huh, Ryo?
おうよ
何これ、変な形、カヌーみたい。
見たいいじゃなくてカヌーよ。
Chisa added frankly. Was much larger than your average canoe. On the beach sat a canoe with long arms stretched out on either side of hull like the length of a water
アウ
boat.
トリガーカヌーって言うんだしかも特注品のな
Sounds cool. Doesn't look cool though. That's what the arms to either side are called. They keep the canoe stable and less likely to capsize.
船外機もついてるんだぜ
本当だ、モーターボートなんだ。
That's how you move it around, yeah? I assume that's what Ryota meant by customize. What do you even do with this thing?
釣りするために買ったんだが手漕ぎで沖まで出るのは大変だからなでも家の仕事を手伝うようになって忙しくてな釣りする時間もあんまりねえんだわ
Ryota had been helping it out at the family business ever since he graduated high school.
なんで好きに使ってくれチサお前操縦できるよな
うん。こないだ2級免許取らされた。
Oh, nice. Chisa's house was, as we had seen before, a diving shop. It not only rented out equipment but also offered scuba diving courses and dive trips. And to take guests out to the diving spots, they needed to run motorboats. Chisa was only 16, but she had gotten a small boat license to have her family business.
さあ乗って乗って。
大丈夫なの？この船。
Thanks,
Oh.
Ryo.
気をつけてなお宝見つけたら俺にも分け前頼む
We're
ぜ
not sharing it. All three of us climbed into the canoe and headed out to sea. And outrigger canoes rides closer to the water than most boats, so it was like gliding across the surface of the water, because there was so little resistance with the surface. It had the smoothest ride, it felt amazing. But even so,
大丈夫なの？このカヌー？
yes, Emily was crouched low in the canoe, holding on to the edge of the hole for dear life.
大丈夫だって言ってるでしょうか。
Look at how irritated she looks.
もう
The boat swayed as it rode over a small wave, and Emily let out a scream as she almost fell overboard. Here we go, I said as I quickly offered her a hand.
ありがとう。
I wasn't surprised by her anxiety, but it was her first time. I'm sorry. On a boat this small after all. Emily squeezed my hand tightly and didn't even likely to let go. This action seemed to be completely subconscious, so I just let her be. And you seem so strong and sure of yourself back on land. Emily started sulking as I teased her.
海は特別よ。陸に上がれば怖いものなんてないわ。
Yeah,
さっ
okay.
き幽霊にビビってたくせに。
Speaking of, why do you hate the sea so much?
サメがいるからよ。
Understandable. Emily whispered as she lost all color.
昔サメの映画を見て以来 海を見ると思い出すの。
Okay. That really famous one? Yeah, that one starts with a J.
まあ確かにあれは怖かったわね。私もしばらく海に入るときビビってたもん。
そう、サメがトルネードに乗って飛んでくるやつ。
That one?
何それ知らない。なんでサメがトルネードで飛ぶの？
What? It's not the one that starts with J. It's something else. Sharknado. It was rather infamous B movie. These days, sharks were only seconds to zombies in B movie hierarchy. These days, sharks were turning into robots or zombies were going to space. Get sharks being scary, but how could that movie make you scared of the whole ocean?
それだけじゃないわ。海は暗くて底が見えないし、なんだか嫌な匂いがするし。
Chisa and I look at each other.
どこの海の話してんだか。
Anyway, where are we now?
ね
Chisa, check our location on the map.
もうちょいかな。
Looking around, I realized we were pretty far from land. And when Emily noticed, she almost burst into tears.
ねえ、こんな小さな船でこんな海の真ん中まで来ちゃって帰れなくなるんじゃ。本当に大丈夫なの？
この程度余裕。私のご先祖様はこういう船で太平洋を渡ったんだから。
Ogasawara and Chestry.
どういうこと？
知らない？ポリネシア人はカヌーで太平洋を渡ってハワイや日本にまで来たって。
Sounded hard to believe, but it was true. People had crossed the ocean in canoes. And naturally, this was before engines.
じゃなくて、あなたのご先祖様って。
ああ、そっち。何代か前のご先祖様にハワイから来た移民がいたんだって。
Makes
そ
sense?
の人たちが日本人と結婚して子供を産んでまた誰かと結婚してというのを繰り返して私がここにいるわけ。
There are even people with Western ancestry just like you.
そうなんだ。
You're of mixed heritage, right?
パパが日本人でママはアメリカ人よ。ママのご先祖様は北欧から渡ってきたって言ってた。
Yes, and Chisa both come from people that crossed the sea. Many years ago, before computers helped with navigation, people risked their lives during a sea voyage. Quite an adventure. And the descendants of those adventurers were here now. But those two were nothing compared to my grandma, especially when it comes to crossing the sea.
アウトリガーカヌーは漁にも使われてたから物はたくさん積めるし簡単には転覆しない。だからその手をいい加減離しなさい。
Why so serious? Chisa pointed it out. Emily turned bright red and let go of my hand. To get scared again, a cute girl like you is always free to take my hand. Ow!
調子に乗るな。
She attacked me with the paddle. Even if she wasn't being serious, I'd appreciate it if she didn't use a weapon.
たくもしかしてあんたら家でもそんな調子なんじゃないでしょうね。どうなのよそこんとこ。
Not at all.
どうして？
Emily suddenly looked embarrassed. Well, for one, Emily sleeps on the second floor. And that stubborn old granny has insisted that I sleep on the floor in the cafe on the first floor.
ごめんね、ヒロ君。
Don't worry about it, it's not your fault. Besides, staying at the shop is kind of what I wanted anyway.
ふむ。ならばよし。
Why are you so happy? Was that supposed to
ち
Miss
なみにアウ
Jealous?
トリガーカヌーは凪の海でしか使えないの。
投げって？
Like the sea is now with every free wave. With very few
小
waves.
笠原の夏の海は穏やかだからね。夏前はめちゃめちゃ荒れたりするけど。
Emily seemed to relax as we talked, and Chisa continued guiding the canoe on toward our destination. We arrived.
この辺りだわ。
She stopped the motor, then bent over to thrust her face into the water to have a look around.
見当たらないわね。
You sure this is the spot?
うん。 あそこに大きな岩があるでしょ。
She pointed down into the water. It was so deep I couldn't see
あそこ
anything.
に引っかかってたって言ってたから。
There were a lot of strange rock formations on the seabed, so it was a popular spot for divers. The ship was last seen here 3 years ago, right before a typhoon hit. There was no reason to believe it would still be here. But then Jesus suddenly started undressing.
Oi.
Jesus gave her clothes to Emily. She was wearing a swimsuit underneath.
何する気？ちょっと見てくれ。
Yeah, she's a best girl.
いいの？こんな深いところであの子溺れちゃうんじゃ。
She's in her element. For long we lost sight of Chisa as she disappeared to the darker depths of the sea. We sat in canoe, the silence overwhelming now that the engine had stopped.
このままあの子が戻ってこなかったら。
We'll just come back ourselves. I don't have a boat license, so I have no idea how to start this thing. Emily was on the verge of tears as she started to shake her head.
やだ、そんなのやだ。こんなところで死にたくない。
I'm just messing with you. We've got a paddle so we can work together. We could get back to the island.
優しい人だと思ってたのに、案外意地悪なのね。
Jiwaru da na. Anyway, there's no way Chisa would drown in water this calm. As I said this, Chisa's head popped out of the water. How'd it go?
どこにも見当たらない。
I see.
一応そこのお嬢さんにささやかな朗報よ。壊れた船体の破片も見当たらなかったから、ここで海の藻くずになったってわけじゃなさそうね。
じゃあまだどこかにあるかもしれないってこと？
かもってだけよ。可能性は限りなく低いわ。ひろき、手貸して。
I took Chisa's hand and pulled her up, but then strange old noise escaped from Emily's lips. She started smacking my shoulder. What happened? She pointed frantically toward the fin, cutting through the waves, moving closer to us.
チサ、早く逃げて、食べられちゃう。
The fin came rushing up towards us just when we thought it would hit the canoe. He cried as he leapt from the water. And then... Ugh. I forgot the dolphin's real name. It's not Finn. It's something else. And by the way, good morning, Aryan. How's your morning? Did you sleep well?
こら、いたずらいるか。
Finn? No, it's not Finn. What's his name again? Someone said it out loud. I want to know. I forgot. She's aboard the
あり
canoe.
がとう、九太郎。
Kyutaro, yeah, that's the name. Kyutaro. Shisa patted the tip of his nose, much to Kyutaro's delight. Emily slumped back in relief, though she kept a wary eye on Kyutaro.
あの時のイルカ？
Yep, our lifesaver.
あなたも撫でてあげたら。さっき名前呼んでくれたでしょ。
Emily fearfully reached out her hand as Kyutaro moved toward her.
なかなか素直な子ね。気に入ったわ。
Moved
撫でてあげる。
toward her, yeah. Without warning, Kyutaro quickly dodged the outstretched hand and... Kyutaro used his spectral fin to splash water in Emily's face.
こら、九太郎。
Kyutaro took off, squeaking maniacally.
大丈夫、エミリー。
可愛くない。海の生き物なんて大嫌い。
Clearly, Kyutaro only increased Emily's distaste for the sea. Should we start heading back? I'm starving. Looked at my watch and realized it was way past lunchtime.
ああ、その前にちょっと寄りたいところがあるんだけど。
Sure, where
私
to?
のアルバイト先。す すぐに済むから。
Part-time job? You have part-time job?
行くよ。九太郎もついといて。キューキューキュ
Okay, Ikuyo. The outrigger canoe began to glide over the calm sea once more. After 15 minutes or so, Chisa cut the engine.
ここがアルバイト先なの？
ー。そうよ。ここの下だけどね。
A boat was anchored nearby, apparently a transport for divers. When we looked down into the rather shallow water, we could see divers swimming about below. Had noticed Kyutaro swimming with us and started pointing and taking
すぐ
photos.
戻るね。
Chisa casually jumped back into the sea.
こんな場所でアルバイトって何するの？
It's me. I have no idea. It's not like she was out catching sea urchins or shrimp, right? Perhaps she was the guide for the divers? What's that? That over there. That red thing. It's the red lighthouse, I believe. Or not. Probably the ghost ship? I don't know. Possible. Chisa was swimming toward the red mailbox set up on the seafloor. Yutaro was swimming behind her playfully.
もう邪魔しないの。
Yutaro wanted to play, and it didn't look like he would back off until she joined him. And so they began swimming around playfully under the water. It became an impromptu dolphin show. Single girl and dolphin swam through the sun-bathed waters, the aquatic dance creating a magical atmosphere. Divers swimming nearby started to gather to watch the show. Yutaro blew up a large ring of bubbles.
よっと。
Chisa swam through the center of the ring. This time he blew out 3 rings, and when Chisa swam through, he followed after her.
すごい。
Chisa looked more alive here than she ever does on land. Eventually, Chisa continued on her way to the mailbox. Once there, she unlocked it and pulled out a net. Chisa's part-time job was collecting mail from the mailbox on the seafloor.
バイバイ。
Chisa waved to the divers and returned to the surface.
ただいま。
Wow, that's some long power.
そうまだまだいけるよ。
Smiling brightly, Chisa set the net from the mailbox on the floor of the canoe. It contained plastic-wrapped letters sent out by divers. Since when is there an underwater mailbox?
観光客向けにね。私が回収して郵便局に持ってくの。
So it was a new surface.
お、エミリーどうかした？
Emily stared at Chisa, clearly mesmerized.
なんでもない。
ん？
I whispered into Chisa's ear. Think you just got yourself a new fan.
嘘ばっか。海が嫌いなんでしょ？あなた。
Helped the disbelieving Chisa up into the canoe.
さて、帰ろっか。
With a final wave to the divers, we began our journey back to the island. Damn it, I can't take it anymore. I want to go diving. Right as we sat down on Omura Pit to eat the food we just picked up from the supermarket.
何よ急に。
I'm having all the fun. I want to go diving
勝手に潜
too.
ればいいじゃない。
Lisa said bluntly as she bit into her cream puff. No, I didn't say that. Into her cream file. I mean field. Pastry.
暑い。食欲出ないわ。
Emily complained as she ate a rice bowl, even though it had been her idea to eat outside. I continued my driving tirade. But I need equipment, plus I can't go alone. You know there's a buddy system. Buddy system was important in scuba diving. When you went diving, you need a buddy, also known as partner. It was a part of a safety system put in place for divers starting from prep and ending when you both made it back to the surface. It was no exaggeration to call it a diving oath.
私パース。窮屈なんだもん、スクーバ。
That's coming from scuba shop starter.
エミリーはあなた幽霊船探しに来たんだからスクーバのライセンスくらい持ってるのよね。
Emily quickly shook her head.
持ってないわ。持ってるわけないじゃない。海が嫌いなのに。
あんたね、それでどうやって海に沈んだ宝物を引き。
問題ないわ。日本の法律ではスクーバダイビングをするのに資格は必要ないもの。
Emily's blind arrogance got to the diving shop's daughter.
ありありよ。つうかあんた、海が怖いとか嫌いとか言っといて何余裕かましてんの？
そりゃあなたみたいには泳げないからちょっとは大変でしょうけど、でも酸素ボンベみたいなのがあれば息はできるんでしょ。なら平気よ。
Chisa had sat up during her outburst but sank back into the sand, tired from the entire exchange.
時々いるのよね、こういう困った客が。だいたい機材はどうするのよ。
何よ、そんなのお店でレンタルすればいいじゃない。あなたのとこってそういうお店なんでしょ。
言ったな。よーし、やってみろ。
いいわ、やってやろうじゃない。なんでダメなのよ。
Had taken Emily to Ogasawara family diving shop to rent some equipment. But as expected, Emily was refused and now she was throwing a tantrum.
ちゃんと料金は出すって言ってるじゃない。何かあった時も自己責任ってことでいいし。
はいはい、そこまで。
Chisa apologized to the shop clerk and pulled Emily
分
away.
かったでしょ。無資格の場合、機材は貸せないの。
だからそこは自己責任で。
事故が起こるとスクーバのイメージが悪くなるし、あんたみたいなあからさまなど素人に機材を貸したんじゃ店の良識を疑われちゃうわ。ほんと計画性ゼロ娘ね。
For what it's worth, it only takes 2 days for a begin to get a beginner's license.
そんな悠長なことしてる暇はないわ。
Emily would already be on her way back by then. She only had 2 more days in Ogasawara, including today. So we left the shop. Emily was silent, clearly upset with the turn of events. Chisa was watching her from behind, unable to control her irritation as the proud resident of
騒ぐ
Ogasawara.
だけ騒いで幽霊船見つけるどころか海に潜ることもできないじゃない。あんた何しに島に来たわけ？
I chided Chisa for going too far, but she just looked away, her expression adamant that she wasn't in the wrong. And Emily suddenly blurted out,
海なんて嫌いよ。暗いし怖いし魚なんて全然美味しくないし。
I'll never forgive you. Is this terrible? I can't believe how ignorant you are of the blessings of the sea.
何？
ひろき、どうしたの？顔が怖いよ。
I'll show you. I'll show you the true gloriousness that is delicious fish. Yay, cooking again. The only thing our protagonist is good at. Probably like 70% of romance VN that I have ever played. The protagonist is good at cooking. And that's why the girls are all over him. So guys, if you want to get girls all over you, learn how to cook, okay? We're at Machiko's cafe to have a seasonal fish platter for dinner, and after Emily took a bite, her eyes went wide. She took a second mouthful and a third before she became unstoppable.
お肉じゃないのに美味しい。
It tastes very, very different from meat, Emily. What do you mean?
これひろきが作ったの？
Chisa said, unable to hide her disbelief as she ate. Yep, I was feeling quite self-satisfied. Grandma was from the corner more than
お
disgruntled.
客には到底出せないまかない料理だよ。
Machiko's cafe opened in the evening. Even so, the food was quite good, so we were always busy. Even though Grandma's legs were getting worse, she refused to ask for help. So I took it upon myself to play waiter anyway. The fish platter I served Emily was made using her recipe.
へえ、腕を上げたね、ひろき。
美味しい。今朝もベーコンエッグ作ってくれたよね。ヒロくん、 本当に料理が得意なんだ。
プロみたいっていうか目指してるもんね、料理。
そうなの？
When I put the apron, I felt it was more than just a uniform to me. After I graduate, I want to go to culinary school.
へえ。
My parents are totally against it. They want me to go to regular university.
私も反対だよ。特にうちの店を継ぎたいなんてなね。
Honestly, I was expecting more support from you. It's your grandchild that wants to carry on your
あ
legacy.
りがた迷惑とはこのことだね。カフェマチコは私の店さ。誰にも譲る気はないよ。
It's the born old pity.
クソガキ。
Emily's expression was dark as she listened to the warm exchange between grandmother and
ど
grandson.
うしたのエミリー？
But the fish was too delicious for her. Still have great fish, sashimi, paella, and she'll never have any time to try it all. But Emily just shook her head. Once I realized she hadn't been overwhelmed by the deliciousness of the food, I became nervous. Didn't like it.
私ってなんてちっぽけなんだろうって。
Emily curled it on herself, sinking so low into her chair that her hair almost touched the ground.
何にも考えてなさそうって思ってたヒロ君はちゃんとした夢を持ってて、
Wait, you really thought that?
野生児みたいな知性はみんなから必要とされてて、
おい、誰が野生児だ？
なのに私は独りよがりで空回りしてて、自
Enjoy
分が
your
誰な
youth.
のかもわからない。
What?
ごちそうさま。
Emily said as she finished up her meal and set the chopsticks aside. She left the table and headed to her
お
room.
やすみなさい。
Wonder what she so down about.
さあ、プライドだけは一人前みたいだわね。
Once the evening rush was over, I left the shop to walk Chisa home.
別にいいのに。
No big deal. Compared to the city center, this area was quite safe. Most people didn't even lock their doors. It was a tiny island, so if someone did commit a crime, they would have to wait for the next ferry to get away.
親切だね。
Told you there's no
私じゃ
nothing.
なく、あの子に。
Well, it's my fault she got stuck on the island. Couldn't tell if she was listening or not as she stared at me with a blank expression. Anyway, it's been fun. Thanks to her.
何が？
Looking for the ghost ship? I had first come to Ogasawara when I was in 3rd grade. After that, I would come to spend every summer here. One day, while playing around the cafe, I met a girl the same age as me. We spent our days exploring, becoming close friends. Once I started junior high though, summer club activities kept me away. Went a long time without seeing each other. Never dreamed there would be this kind of adventure waiting after so many years away.
なんであんたはそんなに小笠原の海が好きかね。
You're one to talk?
私は別にそういうんじゃないもん。この島に生まれたってだけでさ。
She says seemed overly apathetic and wondered if she was upset about something. Speaking of this ghost ship, remember that time I got caught in a current and nearly became a ghost myself? She said.
いつまで子供みたいなこと言ってるのよ。ほんと、成長したのは見た目だけね。
You're one to talk about looking grown up.
ヒロキはエッチになったね。
That's not what I meant. She just stuck out her tongue and then spun around and started running. What is with her? Blurted out as I watched her run home. I thought that she was the same girl inside, despite how she looked now, but maybe I was wrong. The thought of my childhood friend truly growing up saddened me. Is this the next day? If it is, I'm gonna end the stream. Yes, it's the next day. I'm gonna end the stream here, and actually, I'm not going to end the stream. I'm just actually yes. I don't know. I'm gonna end the stream here. I have some more assignments to do.
よし、セーブ完了っと。
And yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy it. See you guys later. Bye bye. Bye bye.